Health and the People, World War I. World War I took place between 1914 and 1980, led to advances in X-rays, blood loss, and plastic surgery. So lots of soldiers on the battlefield picked up injuries, and plastic surgery helped transplant skin back onto these wounds. Wounds on the face were particularly important. Blood transfusions. Before 1900, it caused a lot of infections because different people had different blood types. In 1900, Karl Landsteiner discovered 4 different types of blood, and blood transfusions were matched based on the patient's and recipient's blood type. In 1914, Albert Hustin discovered how to store blood for longer periods of time. Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays in 1895. But in World War I, X-rays were used on the battlefield, and it was Marie Curie that developed these mobile X-ray machines. If we keep going through, X-rays were discovered by Wilhelm Röntgen. Marie Curie developed mobile machines, and they were used in battle in World War I. The First World War, to remind you, took place in 1914 to 1918. But World War I also saw the development of the pharmaceutical industry. Large companies like Glaxo, founded in 1906, which is now GlaxoSmithKline, Beecham, and Hoffmann La Roche were created. They developed drugs. Aspirin was made in 1899 and insulin was made in 1921. Modern pharmaceuticals looks more like big companies. So you have companies like Roche doing cancer drugs and chemotherapy, and companies like Bayer selling aspirin. There are some controversies. In 1961, a drug called thalidomide was used to treat morning sickness in pregnant women, but it actually led the babies to not develop their arms and legs correctly. So if we keep going through, which of the following are true about pharmaceuticals? Companies like Bayer do continue to sell aspirin. Companies like Roche do specialize in cancer drugs even to this day. And research to develop drugs is very costly, but things like patents help pharmaceutical companies sell these drugs exclusively for a long period of time. If you look at penicillin, Alexander Fleming worked in an army hospital in World War I. Lots of soldiers died because of infected wounds. In 1928, he accidentally left out some bacteria in his laboratory, and mold grew on one of the plates. However, the mold surrounding the germs that he left out stopped the mold from growing. The mold was a fungus called penicillin. If you continue down discovery, Howard Florey and Ernst Chain read Fleming's article, and they continued to work on penicillin. They found a mass production method to make penicillin. In 1939, the British government refused to fund it. They didn't focus and see the benefit of penicillin. However, the US government funded the team, and in 1943, Britain began to mass produce it. Fleming, Florey, and Chain won the Nobel Prize in 1945 for their work. So, what do we know about penicillin? The government in Britain didn't fund it in 1939. The US government funded it in 1943, and it dealt with infected wounds in the Second World War. If we think back to what the advances were during World War I in medicine, the main ones were plastic surgery, X-rays, and blood transfusions. So applying through this, when was insulin first made? I think it was 1899. No, that was aspirin. Insulin was 1921. So insulin was first made in 1921. Thalidomide was in 1961. That led babies to have underdeveloped limbs. And aspirin was in 1899. Fleming, Florey, and Chain won the Nobel Prize for medicine in 1945, the end of World War II. And that is everything on health and the people for AQA GCSE.